People who've seen nice people finally snap. What happened? My best friend had lost his mom to murder a few months prior when we were in the 10th grade. Somehow he had pulled himself together just enough to start going back to school. I don't know how he handled it with being an only child and growing up without a father. His mom was all he had. A kid that thought he was popular, that got on everyone's nerves. Cracked wise to my friend's face about his mom's death. What he said isn't exactly sure. My friend threw him on the ground and punched him in the face multiple times. The end result was a broken nose, a broken left orbital, and my friend got kicked out of school. We were very grateful he taught him a lesson, but sad that it had to come at such a high cost. Older brother's wedding. He's a very nice guy, almost too nice. He had a horrible girlfriend. He adored her though. She told him that he wasn't good enough and that she would break up with him unless he bought her this super fancy ring and married her. He did. His wedding was very stressful and she was extra nasty. After they cut the cake, she got herself a huge slice and left him with none, telling him he should go on a diet. He was working his way up to average. He snapped, threw a handful of cake at her pretty dress and hair, then told her to expect divorce papers to sign. He proceeded to scream, cry, and rant about how horrible she was and how she made him suicidal. He's better now. They split up and live in different continents. When I was in high school, my group of like 6 friends were sitting at a round table in the cafeteria for breakfast. A table over, some girls had been tossing small chunks of their food in our direction. My one friend, M, wore her hair in an unusual, spiked up style, and I guess the girls at the table were trying to land food in her hair while cackling to themselves. Cue my quiet, sweet, introverted friend, K, getting so angry I swear steam was coming out of her ears. One of the girls had thrown a decent sized piece of her egg patty at us, and it landed on the floor near K's foot. K proceeded to step on the egg patty, pick it up off the ground, walk over to the table of bullies, and shove the egg directly into the mouth of the one who had thrown it. Guy I'd worked with for about 10 years, never could get ahead at work, wasn't bad but just didn't really excel. He was always kind, always ready to laugh and crack a joke. Never saw or heard him be mean, but apparently him and his wife were having some trouble, though I'd not heard him talk about it much. But one day, while his youngest was out at church with a family member, he flipped out and shot his wife then himself. Another woman I worked with even prior to that, but at the same place, was super sweet and always smiling. She was mid-divorce and drowned her 3-year-old daughter in a bathtub at her dad's, the kid's grandpa's, because she didn't want to share her with her ex after the divorce. She's still in prison as far as I know. One of my middle school friends, whom we'll call Bob, was about a half foot shorter than everyone else. Everyone was around 5 feet. He was an interesting, in a good way, dude. Interested in learning, played video games, was great to hang out with, but he looked scrawny. Didn't look like he could hurt anything, if I'm being honest. For some context to the story, our gym teacher was an asshole. Gave nicknames, some good, some bad, to everyone. He was always sarcastic, always berating everyone, speaking down to us instead of encouraging them. One day the gym teacher says something about Bob's mom, which Bob's mom had fibromyalgia and some other conditions making her weak and unhealthy not by choice. And something in Bob snapped. Bob completely took down this 6.5-foot monster gym teacher. Gym teacher looked like he stood no chance at that time. They were quickly pulled apart and Bob got expelled and had to move school, while the gym teacher was fired for fighting a student and being an overall asshole. In middle school, my 6'2" gentle giant friend, who is literally the nicest guy you'd ever meet, got teased about his mom by some short popular kid. My friend no hesitation picked him up by his shirt and slammed him against the locker at eye level and said, "Never talk about my mom like that." One of my favorite memories of him. A lady where I used to work was subjected to constant sexual harassment by a much older co-worker and the company failed to do anything about it. He was showing up at her house, eventually forcing her to move house. After she moved into the new house, he bought the house next door. She arrived to work with a baseball bat and stopped at reception to ask if Tom was in. When they asked why, she calmly told them she was there to kill him. She walked upstairs to his office, but the reception called ahead and had him take the fire escape, and she instead demolished his office until the police arrived. Freshman and sophomore year, the same kid gave me shit at the bus stop and the whole walk home. Every single day, non-stop harassment, just kept needling me constantly. So many people ask me why I took it, but I was just really shy and passive at that age. I stayed quiet and didn't react. One day the kid tried to push me into some bushes thinking it'd be funny. He'd never gotten physical before. I grabbed his wrist and put him on his ass. He went down on his back, and when he tried to get up I put the past 2 years into a single punch. That put him right back down. Next day in school, kid had the darkest black eye I'd ever seen. He wasn't at the stop for the next few days, and when he started taking it again he never said another word. I mentioned this in another thread. Samoan friend. Happiest, most friendly guy you ever want to meet. Some guy said something about his sister and of course it made him mad. My friend went after him and caught him. Punched about 3 times and we realized he was going kill him. It took 3 of us normal sized guys to hold his arm back from hitting the guy one more time. We told the other to run, like run fucking now. He did. Our friend was mad at us for a while for stopping him, then he went home. The next day it was as if nothing happened. He just went back to being a super nice guy. My best friend X found out someone was being mean to me, so X told the dude to leave me alone. A hole came up to me and slapped me. X seen it and smashed a desk on a hole's head. X was known for never being mad, and the most I had seen before that day was X kicking a chair from a game, so seeing him break a desk on this guy's head scared me, but he didn't stop. X got down and was laying into this guy. It took so many people to get X off of him, and they had to drag the dude out. X did get suspended, and so did a hole. Honestly, I feel both safe and terrified of X. To know that he is so protective of me is comforting.